This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I have taken major contractual steps to restore the rule of law and to return power to everyday Americans.
President Trump is taking immediate action on his campaign promises, cracking down on federal spending, abortion, immigration, and Obamacare. But the question is, will his executive orders have an impact, or will many of them only serve as a threat without the backing of Congress? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on President Trump's first week in office coming up, but we begin with our top 7 stories at 7. You would hope an investigative report on the murder of an infant would shed light on what happened. The fact is that you're actually going to hear raises more questions about the agencies responsible for keeping children safe. We're talking about the death of 22-month-old Ethan Thompson of Bradenton. The child was allegedly killed by his stepfather just hours after a judge allowed him to return home. According to the Florida Department of Children and Families, at least 6 child welfare reports were made at the Thompson home before his death in November. 25-year-old Montez McNeil is charged with the child's death. Investigators say the boy's mother went to the pharmacy and found the child unconscious when she returned. An autopsy revealed injuries consistent with child abuse. In Manatee County, the sheriff's office conducts all child protective investigations. Sheriff Rick Wells says, quote, "The information gathered indicated no evidence of Mr. McNeil residing in the home, and present a danger was not identified." But DCF is taking issue with that assessment. Writing in its report, the child welfare practice done by the sheriff's office was inconsistent with policies and should not have warranted their return, referring to the children. The report also notes Ethan's case manager was overloaded. The Manatee County School District has been criticized for racial bias in disciplining students. While the number of suspensions is down in the first half of the year, the number of referrals is up. According to numbers from the district, Black and Hispanic students are disproportionately punished, making up 63% of suspensions and referrals, despite only representing 25% of student population. District officials say the referrals are mostly for minor offenses at middle and high schools.
Our attendance violations, tardies, dress code violations, and cell phone violations are the primary drivers of the increase in referral data that we're seeing. And those represent 49% of all referrals.
The district is looking for ongoing solutions to address the discipline issues. Meanwhile, great news, a new roundabout in Manatee at the intersection of State Road 64 and Rye Road in Manatee County. Florida's Department of Transportation is approving the construction plan. Work on the multi-lane roundabout and sidewalks are expected to be completed by next year. The city of Venice is working to resolve some of its own traffic issues by bringing back its trolley service. City officials hope visitors will park away from downtown and use the trolley to get around, but residents don't seem to get the message. A survey shows the majority of people review it as a tourist attraction and isn't a realistic solution for easing congestion.
Even if the trolley's full with 25 people at a time, I'm not so sure that's going to have much beyond or any measurable impact on traffic challenges.
In 2015, Venice's city council disguised a building in a parking garage downtown, or proposed it, but the idea was dropped because the idea had a $12 million price tag. It takes place annually, but it's been a long time since the March for Life rally and had allies in the White House. For the first time in history, a sitting U.S. vice president headlined the event. Vice President Pence addressed the crowd. Anti-abortion advocates are big fans of the new administration. Organizers take issue with last Saturday's Women's March, saying pro-life is pro-women.
This administration will work with the Congress to end taxpayer funding of abortion and abortion providers. And we will devote those resources to health care services for women across America.
State Representative Joe Gruters is filing legislation here in Florida to ban abortions after 20 weeks. He is happy about what is taking place both at the state and federal level.
It's just so incredible to have a culture of life coming out of the White House in D.C. You know, certainly the way we treat the most vulnerable in our society is the way you could judge us as a society.
Gruder's bill is currently set to go before a House subcommittee. Sarasota State Senator Greg Stubbe is filing a companion bill in the Senate. Here in Florida, a federal judge is hearing arguments on an abortion law requiring anyone who counsels women about the procedure to explain how it is done and alternatives. Opponents say that infringes on freedom of speech.
It's attempting to require by Big Brother, the state, certain speech that we have to make in that setting, and that's unacceptable. That is not the way one does pastoral counseling.
Lawyers for the state say counseling constitutes commercial speech. The judge did not make a ruling on the case. We're learning just how deadly an outbreak of tornadoes and thunderstorms were for the Southwest. Over the weekend, severe weather took at least 21 lives. The majority was in Georgia, with one fatality reported in Florida. There was severe damage to Florida's East Coast when Hurricane Matthew struck last year. Now Governor Scott is allocating $15 million for emergency beach renourishment. Money from the State Division of Emergency Management will go to Volusia, Flagler, Brevard, and St. Johns counties. Scott says the funding is important for protecting tourist beaches and sea turtle nesting sites. Let's get the latest on the weather. We go to meteorologist Josh Stone. Josh.
All right, well, temperatures are dipping down for this Friday evening, and it's going to be quite chilly when we wake up tomorrow morning. But right now it's 59 degrees. You're definitely, if you are going out, make sure you have a jacket or a sweater, because the temperatures will continue to be on the decrease throughout the evening. 40 degrees is the dew point, humidity at 49%. We have that mid-level cloud deck, and we're calling for mostly cloudy skies tonight. And also, it's going to be breezy, anywhere from 5 to 10 to maybe 15 miles per hour, with these sustained winds coming out of the north and northwest. As you can see, Boca Grande 17 miles per hour, and that's a sustained wind. Had some isolated showers earlier today, but now the radar is quiet. Really nothing to show you at all. But this picture changes in about, well, a little more than 24 hours from now. Late Saturday night into Sunday morning, looks like we're going to have a wave of energy to bring us some widespread rain showers to the Suncoast. But as you can see, as we go through the evening hours, make sure you have the appropriate attire, because it's going to be on the chilly side of things. And this trend is going to continue for the next couple of days.
All right. It's nice to put on a jacket.
Yeah, exactly. You know, change it up a little bit.
All right. Thanks a lot, Josh. And still to come, the power of the pen. President Trump is signing more than a dozen executive orders during his first week in office. Find out what they could change and why some are saying it is only symbolic without support. The story when we return.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new adventure. From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in. Tune in to Animal Outtakes to find out what they have to say. Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru was named the 2016 Best Overall Brand, Most Trusted, and Best Performance Brand by Kelley Blue Book. And ALG named Subaru its top mainstream brand for residual value for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Week one of the Trump presidency. You can't say it hasn't been boring. Crowd size, relitigating the popular vote, a whole lot of executive orders. CNN's Sunlin Safadi reports.
From Donald Trump's first day in office, it has been a flurry of activity, signing one executive action after another.
An executive order minimizing the economic burden of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act.
From health care.
We'll see if we can get that pipeline built. A lot of jobs.
To reviving the Keystone Pipeline.
We've been talking about this right from the beginning.
To immigration, putting his signature on 11 executive orders and memorandums.
Since taking office, I have taken major contractual steps to restore the rule of law and to return power to everyday Americans. And even though it's only a few days, we've done it in record numbers.
But are the executive orders, actions, and memoranda all for show or a sign of real change? It's a bit of both. Legal experts say actions like these need to have some root in a statute or in the Constitution, but that doesn't mean they won't be challenged. For now, Republican leaders couldn't be more thrilled with some of Mr. Trump's moves.
He's restoring the proper balance, and in our opinion, he is undoing a lot of damage that was done by the last president who exceeded his power.
On Obamacare, Trump is setting in motion the takedown of the Affordable Care Act.
On my first day in office, I signed an executive order to roll back the burdens of Obamacare and pave the way for real reform, like health savings accounts that empower individuals to choose the customized plan that is truly right for them.
While the order contains a broad mandate for the heads of agencies to minimize the economic burden of Obamacare, it doesn't specify any single action that would be taken. Truly ending Obamacare needs to be done by Congress.
Our legislative work starts with repealing and replacing Obamacare.
And on immigration, Trump is directing the Department of Homeland Security to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border.
The Secretary of Homeland Security, working with myself and my staff, will begin immediate construction of a border wall.
Even though his campaign promise of having Mexico pay for the wall seems to be put on hold.
So they'll pay us back?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So the American taxpayer will pay for the wall at first?
All it is we'll be reimbursed at a later date from whatever transaction we make from Mexico.
But for now, funding for the wall has to come through congressional appropriations, which is bound to set up a legislative fight.
The point is we are going to finance the Secure Fence Act, which is the construction of the physical barrier on the border.
Now he's saying, well, we're going to find $14 billion to build a wall, which won't work. I mean, you sort of step back and say, what in God's name are we doing and what are we talking about? Our relationship with Mexico is important.
Late today, President Trump signed 2 additional executive orders, including a ban on immigrants from 7 Muslim-majority nations. Our politics panel is standing by. When we return, we take it to the trapezoid.
Are you paying too much for your cable or satellite TV? The U.S. government passed a bill mandating free over-the-air digital transmission of all broadcast network television channels. That means with the new TV Freeway digital antenna, you can get free HD programming from your favorite broadcast networks 24/7 without a bill. You just plug it into the back of your TV and start watching all of your favorite broadcast programs for free. There are no contracts to sign, no hidden fees, and no monthly fees. Just free HD broadcast TV. Take it with you anywhere. Call or go online now to get your TV Freeway stick for the incredibly low price of only $14.99. But wait, call or click now and you can get a second TV Freeway stick for a second TV. Just pay a separate fee, but you have to order right now.
Call 1-800-809-5196 to get your TV Freeway. Call now or go to tvfreeway.com. So call 1-800-809-5196. This offer's not in any store. Call now.
Go ahead. Make a fashion statement. Demand something more than just ordinary. Capture elegance in every turn and drive with flair. Where beautiful styling is standard. Stop in and take a test drive. I'll guarantee you'll never go back to plain vanilla again. The all-new 2017 Fiat 500, starting at $14,999. Only at Sunset Fiat in Sarasota.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Join us for Sarasota Opera's 2017 Winter Festival, opening February 11th. Featuring Puccini's most famous opera, Madame Butterfly, Rossini's delightful comedy, The Italian Girl in Algiers, Poulenc's heartbreaking Dialogues of the Carmelites, and the medieval thriller, The Love of Three Kings by Italo Montemezzi. Tickets are on sale now. Call 941-328-1300 or visit sarasotaopera.org.
Welcome back. So how many executive orders has President Trump already signed? 14, and here are just some of them. I'll go fast. A rollback of the Affordable Health Care Act, a ban on federal dollars for abortion, a withdrawal from TPP, a hiring freeze on federal agencies, approval of the Keystone Pipeline, defunding sanctuary cities, building the border wall, and finally, extreme vetting for immigrants from terrorist nations. And joining us for more on President Trump's first week in office, they're all laughing already, is Kevin Griffith, the vice chairman, or crying, Kevin Griffith, the vice chairman of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, Christian Ziegler, Republican state committee man for Sarasota, and Mitch Perry, a reporter for FloridaPolitics.com. Christian, you must be pretty happy this week.
I love it. Everything Trump has done is exactly what he said he was going to do when he ran for office. And during the entire campaign, he made a lot of promises, from immigration to Obamacare to the trade deals. And he got into office and he's executed. And you look at everything he's done, I think he's right on path with what the people want. And that's why they elected him. And that's where we're at.
Christian, what is the sense among Sarasota, Manatee County Democrats?
Well, a lot of enthusiasm, obviously, in opposition to Donald Trump. I think one thing to remember is that with these executive orders, they, for all intents and purposes, require Congress to pass actual bills. So, for example, the wall, it's got to be funded. We've heard within the day or two or three different ways it possibly could be funded. All of these have to go through Congress first. So it's basically symbolic to this point.
Mitch, it seems to me that these executive orders, and the inaugural address is playing to the support that President Trump has already, and he's not going to make many people who he had hoped will give him a chance happy.
Well, that's right, at least so far. Again, we're 1 week into it, but I think he had a laundry list of things that he campaigned on, as Christian said, that he wanted to do, and he's done it. And again, a lot of it's symbolic because we have to see how it plays out, literally. But it's been impactful, it's been powerful. We were talking about these hot topic issues of immigration, of extreme vetting of Syrian refugees. Doing that is really controversial, but it's hit the sweet spot of conservatives who rallied to him during this campaign. So you're right. He's not at all in this first week trying to appease his critics or the folks, the millions who went out last week and all across the country. But for him, I think mission accomplished. I mean, I think he really wanted to show, this year-long, 2-year-long battle to win the presidency is to actually do something in office there. And so, a lot of it's been very flashy. There's been, you said 14, I did not know it was that many. And I think all of us are trying to get our heads around all of it because there's been a lot of action and energy.
Does it even matter that he appears to be going a little bit ahead of his own Republican Congress? Look, John McCain is not happy about the waterboarding stuff. There is...
or is even his own defense secretary.
Right. And when it comes to the Affordable Health Care Act, a lot of Republicans in Congress want a replacement before repeal, and it's putting them into a box. That's what you hear a lot.
No, look, you look at Donald Trump. He campaigned on these issues. He's executing on these issues. And that's what the American people want. For all too long, what happens is people get elected, they make promises in the campaign, and once they get into office, they promise they're going to get it done, and they never get it done.
Well,
and the wall's a perfect example.
Let me just call you out something. You said this is what the American people want.
That's exactly right.
What do you mean by that?
Donald Trump was elected president on a platform and the promises he made during his campaign. He was elected on certain issues, and that's when he came into office, and that's what he's been executing on. Whether it's building the wall, which is a great example, Obamacare, taking steps to repeal that.
I guess the question is that, you know, he lost the popular vote by 3 million if you believe in some facts.
Yeah, but you look at the Carolina Panthers. They went 15-1 last year, but they weren't the Super Bowl champs. No one will ever remember what their record was. It's how you win it.
I guess my point is, do you have to be aware of public opinion? Because after all, the last poll that came out shows that he only has 36% approval rate.
No, Alan, you know, at this point, he campaigned on certain issues. He was elected on those issues, and he's executing on those issues. If he wasn't executing on those issues, people like yourself and in the media, they would be criticizing him for not doing what he promised to do.
What I find interesting, and you're right, Christian, I mean, Paul Ryan, you saw on your broadcast, he's talking about we're going to pay for the wall. I don't remember Paul Ryan campaigning for a wall, actually, but now he's saying, you know, we're going to find a way to spend the money. This is a huge expenditure, 10, 15, 20 billion dollars, right? So right now, Trump has the momentum. Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell don't, although, you know, we will see a lot of pushback as this goes along. I mean, for example, Russia, okay, sanctions. Trump is talking about removing them. I just saw a headline. Mitch McConnell says, not so fast, Mr. President. So, you know, again, 1 week, a lot of energy. But right now, he's the most, popular man in the country, if you will, because he was the elected president, and Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell weren't.
And Kevin, we have less than a minute left, but I mean, is there a sense amongst Democrats there's really nothing that you can do about it at this point, or you have to pick your battles?
Well, I recall being on the show the day after the election, and I made a point, and I would reiterate that point. Donald Trump's problem governing is going to be mainly with the Republican Party and not with the Democratic Party, because what he ran on is not a Republican platform.
Right.
It's a populist platform.
We are just getting started. There is more on Trump's first week in office, along with the check on our forecast coming up, so stay with us.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need
the Debt Ninja. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, you could be facing wage garnishments, levies, liens, property seizure, cancellation of business license, closure of business. The Debt Ninja fights your IRS debt. That's why you need the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja has found the best companies in the country who are on your side to fight debt. Want to learn if you qualify for the IRS Financial Hardship Program? Stop the IRS from garnishing your wages. Even if your bank account has been seized, if you have undeclared taxes, if you have existing IRS debt, it's not too late to call, so grab your phone now. Call the Debt Ninja at 800-945-0083. That's 800-945-0083. Settle your IRS debt to get the power of the Debt Ninja. Dial this number now, 800-945-0083.
We consider the first 60 minutes the golden hour, the time that we can do the most to affect how a patient's going to do. I think what motivates all of us is that at the other end of it, we see them, smiling and happy and going back to their families. That's our greatest satisfaction. Sarasota Memorial Hospital is just an amazing place to take care of people.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Our discussion of President Trump's first week in office continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from meteorologist Josh Stone. Josh.
All right, thanks so much, Alan. You give me 2.5 minutes, I'll give you the weather. It's 59 outside here in Sarasota right now, 61 in Venice, 59 in Lake Placid, and temperatures are falling as we go through this evening. Our high today topped out at 68 degrees, above the average of 71. So it felt pretty comfortable, but no rain today. We could use some rain. We're down just under 3/4 of an inch of rain, and we do need to make up some rainfall. Looks like that's going to happen. But right now, our radar is quiet. We don't have anything to show you here. We had some isolated showers earlier today. Those streamed into Charlotte County, but right now, everything is quiet. So what's on tap for us? A cool and raw weekend. Rain Saturday night. We're talking about late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And then the rain's going to last throughout the day on Sunday. And then finally we'll warm up as we get into next week. But it's going to be kind of a raw and chilly weekend for us. Speaking of raw and chilly, up here in the Northeast, dealing with some snow showers over here. But for the most of the the rest of the country, everything's looking pretty quiet, but there's some green on the radar down here in Texas, and this is the beginnings of the system that's going to eventually track across the Gulf of Mexico and affect us. So for our day tomorrow, on Saturday, expect a little bit of sunshine, but then the clouds will be on the increase, and then here's that system, this wave of energy that's going to bring the rainfall as we go through late Saturday night and most of the day on Sunday, probably mostly on Sunday morning. By the time this is done, maybe a 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. So that will help with the rain deficit, definitely. And then things clear out. But one thing for sure, it is going to be chilly. We're talking about highs maybe not topping out of the low 60s. Remember, our average for this time of the year for a high is 71. You're taking the boat out tomorrow, expect a northerly wind at 15 knots, seas just offshore 2 to 4 feet. And mostly cloudy skies, especially in the afternoon. Temperature at the beach will be 62 degrees. 49 for the overnight low, so it will be chilly for this evening. Tomorrow's high 63. And remember, the rain will be on the increase as we go through late tomorrow night, most of the day on Sunday, most likely in the morning hours, and then we finally warm back up into the low to mid 70s as we get into the middle to latter part of next week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Why do I run? I think life's a journey. Every step brings me closer to my goal. I run to see the world, and when you're surrounded by so much beauty, how could it not take your breath away?
Join us at Robinson Preserve Friday, March 31st at 6:30 p.m. for our 9th annual Twilight 5K and 10K race. At one of the most beautiful scenic race courses in Florida. This race will leave you breathless.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Come out to the best party of the season, the Goodwill Mardi Gras Gala on February 28th at Michael's on E. Tickets at experiencegoodwill.org.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Ram trucks are built tough and have plenty of power to handle any job with all the comfort you'd expect in a luxury vehicle. And right now, all 2016 quad cabs are over 20% off, with new Ram trucks starting at just $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're discussing President Trump's first week in office. Our guests tonight are Kevin Griffith of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, Christian Ziegler, a Republican state committee man for Sarasota County, and Mitch Perry of FloridaPolitics.com. Show of hands. Has this been a whirlwind of a first week for this president?
It's only been a week.
Successful week. Guy's gotten to work and done a great job.
I would say in history of our country, at least in the 50 years I've been following politics.
Kevin, agree?
It's only been a week.
Okay, but a busy week.
It's been a very busy week.
A lot of executive orders. We definitely know what this president is doing. On the flip side, Christian, crowd size envy, popular vote envy, the little debacle at the CIA.
Look,
that it doesn't read well.
No, but look at this. The media is so hyper-focused on this, Sean Spicer, the spokesman, and they like to generate this dialogue and this focus on these issues because they're truly trying to delegitimize Trump's presidency. And they're trying to shift direction, and that's the only way they can take him down because he's done such a great job.
Let me ask you this, because Steve Bannon talked to the New York Times earlier this week, and basically he said that the media should be quiet for a while.
That's right.
In your opinion, is it unpatriotic not to tell the truth about the president or anybody else?
No, but I think what Steve Bannon said was they need to be quiet and they need to listen. There was a second part to that because the media has not been listening to the people, and the media has been completely out of touch for this whole campaign. And now after he's in office, the media still doesn't understand why Donald Trump was elected. And I think it would be good for the media to take a step back and start listening to the people and figuring out why did Trump win, because both the media and the Democratic Party still have yet to figure it out.
I mean, is it the responsibility of the media to point out factual issues about...
It is, but it's also responsible for the media to really take a tone on what's going on in the country.
I was quoting Teddy Roosevelt, by the way.
What Christian is saying, you're writing on that, the whole idea about the media was out to lunch during the campaign, and, that's fair. But no, let's start. Now the man is the president. As of a week ago, he's made misstatements, lies on occasion. It's absolutely the media's responsibility to call that out. Now, the whole thing about crowd size, it does kind of get out of proportion because then the man is actually signing these executive orders that have real policy to it. But it goes to Trump's ego and narcissism, and we're not used to that in a president. I mean, Trump is so unconventional in many ways. Many ways people like that, and many ways people don't. And I think that the fact whether he's still in this obsession, he's going to have an investigation about voter fraud. Are you kidding me? Look, when Jill Stein was going into Wisconsin and Michigan, the Trump people were getting attorneys to challenge her, saying, no, this is a legitimate election. Now he's all for this. This is silly, and it's absolutely incumbent upon the media to call that out.
Kevin, is this what Democrats are hoping for in terms that the president will get so wrapped up in these kinds of issues that eventually it's going to catch up to him?
No. I mean, as a Democrat and an American, I want our country to succeed. But at the same time, I think we have to hold him accountable. I mean, and that's what the media tries to do, and it's what the Democratic Party is going to continue to do. And that's what some of these issue-based rallies are about, and they're going to continue to happen. And it's going to be holding Donald Trump accountable.
You're shaking your head.
Well, no, I think Kevin made some good points there, but I think when you look at this, you got to remember in 2015 when he got into this race, the media said he has no chance, and they said he's not even going to make the debates. His popularity continued to grow, and the media still could never realize why is this guy catching on, and why did the public really tap into his message. And all you guys had to do was go to one of these rallies. There were 20,000 people to figure it out.
I guess the question is it counterproductive to what he is trying to do for the country, by getting into debates over the crowd at his inauguration compared to Obama's, in terms of this whole thing about the popular vote where facts get in the way of the point that he's trying to make?
Well, look, with Donald Trump, one thing you're going to get with the guy that I think everyone will agree is he's not filtering his message through 3, 4 different people before it hits the airways. You get exactly what's on his heart, what's in his mind. You hear exactly from him, whether it's a tweet, whether it's something he says in the press, and people love that. It's nice to finally see an unfiltered politician at this point. But when you look at it, some of these, like the pictures and the media's obsession with that, even this tweet saying, but what about the MLK bust,
hold on one
right?
second. It wasn't the media obsession with the picture so much as the president's obsession with
Well, yeah, but the way
size.
the media works is you say a comment in a press conference or wherever it is, media grabs it and then they run with it, and you guys get to decide what the headlines are for the next couple days, and you jump on it.
I would dare say this is a distraction, even having this discussion right now. You know, one of the things that Trump did the other day about immigration is, you know, at one point there was talk about deporting everybody, right? And everyone says that's crazy, that can't happen. But what he did the other day with this executive order, he's looking at more people than just, you know, Obama basically said, you know, document people who have done serious crimes. We need to like deport those people. Trump is expanding that right now, and it could be people, basically people who even mow lawns and the like. I mean, this is something that's really serious, actually, because this is going beyond what, again, it hits a sweet spot of a lot of Republicans who say, you know, let's change this. But I think that this is a profound change in our culture that even many Republicans are okay with in terms of documented labor in Florida, for example. And I think this is something that is going to be big resistance on.
You know, Kevin, there's somebody who I respect a great deal and I work with from time to time, who every time one of these things comes out, whether it's a tweet or kind of an outlandish statement from the president, he gets angry that we're covering it because it distracts from the issues of what he's actually trying to put forth.
You know, sometimes I think that it's a strategy by Trump. It's almost subterfuge. You know, send something out that the media will talk about and cover. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, take care of whatever he's trying to do that he doesn't want media covered, as much media coverage about. Let me circle back a little bit just about Trump himself. You know, I've read a lot about presidencies. I like reading those books. One thing that you hear is, for the presidency, the defining characteristics of the person, the office of the presidency multiplies those tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. We know who Donald Trump is. We know who he will be. The question is, who will we be as a people in response?
You know, Christian, are you hoping that, you know, you have a lot of friends in the White House right now that they're counseling the president to that all presidents have to do at some point, stay on message. You know, if you remember back in the Reagan administration, they had a message of the day, and they were pretty darn good at keeping Ronald Reagan on message in order to achieve the policy goals. You know, Bill Clinton, it was more difficult, but when they tried to keep him on message, it was easier to achieve the policy goals.
Well, I think when you look at Donald Trump, I mean, the guy has had a very successful week. So you're going to have people on the left that are going to say he's had a disastrous week in terms of the press. Look at these pictures of the mall and you know what the crowd size is. But if you start looking at everything he's done this week, it's been a very successful week. And I care more about what someone does than what they say. And if you look at everything he's done every single day and you get a recap, as a Republican, as a conservative, I am thrilled with how this
I would push
went.
back against that, saying that it's been a successful week. Let's look at the threats to pull out of NAFTA or the TPP, or the actually pulling out of the TPP. Let's talk about NAFTA. Placing a 20% tariff on goods coming from Mexico to America means that, you know, when Christian goes to have his Corona later after the show, he's going to pay 20% more. Or that Congress has to actually pass an act that says they want to add a 20% tariff, which violates NAFTA.
I will tell you, I'm going to enjoy my Corona even more so tonight, because exactly what you just saw here is a member of the Democratic Party downplaying how big of an action removing ourselves from TPP or renegotiating NAFTA is, because Trump won. Hold on one second, Alan. Trump won because he went after that segment of the population that had been left by the Democratic Party and has been left by the
We have less than a minute left.
I would say this about Mexico, for example. Nieto, the president, did not come here this week when he was supposed to because of Trump, you know, his tweet the other day about maybe you shouldn't come over here because he's, you know, you're going to pay for this wall. Yeah, I know they said today that they're not going to talk about this. They're going to try to keep it, you know, low to the ground. good luck with Trump not saying anything at the wall coming forward. But I think this is really something to be concerned about, okay? Because Mexico is an ally of ours, and now we're somewhere alienating big time.
Let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of you are saying about the exclusive negotiations to bring the Atlanta Braves to spring training in Sarasota County. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Top Dog 2017, benefiting Dante's Den, is the Carnival of Dogs. Join us at the Francis for an evening of great food and fun as dogs compete for the title of Top Dog. Grab your pooch and head out to Top Dog Saturday, February 4th at 6 p.m.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second couch coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
So get the new year off to a great start with safety and peace of mind. Subaru offers more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And Subaru had the best resale value of all brands for 2016. Now you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Welcome back. President Trump had a busy first week in office, signing more than a dozen executive orders, but will they create real change going forward? Our guests join us now for final thoughts.
Well, I would say let's look forward to week number 2, the Supreme Court justice he's going to name on this Thursday. And really, you think about it, a lot of people who really weren't happy between Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, it came down to Supreme Court, you know, who's going to have the choice of the Supreme Court. The Republicans control the House, the Senate, the court, the presidency. This is a huge thing that's coming up this week.
Christian, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I think, you know, look, he's pushed to build the wall. You know, look at the refugees and do vetting on the refugees. Obamacare taking actions against that. These trade deals, the size of government, you know, hiring freeze and a pay freeze for federal government workers. Donald Trump has had an incredible first week. I'm looking forward to the second week, and as Mitch mentioned, the Supreme Court, that's going to be key, and I think there's a staunch conservative he's going to be putting in that seat.
I think Donald Trump would do well to look at the last big personality president, that was LBJ, who was a Democrat, and LBJ had a saying that in politics, you don't tell someone to go to hell unless you can make them. And some of his tweets to the Mexican president and those type of things, it's not a zero-sum game when you launch these.
So what did the Democrats do at this point?
I think we need to put forth an alternative platform. I mean, and hold them accountable. So paid family medical leave, infrastructure development. I mean, these are things that he ran on and
well,
were
that's something
popular.
they can work together actually on. Democrats came out this week and talked about we want to work on this thing with the infrastructure. Mayors really want this $1 trillion, you know? I mean, we need it everywhere, certainly.
Trump mentioned in his speech, America First. That's exactly what we're seeing, and I think that's exactly what our country needs right now. It's refreshing and it's exciting going forward.
All right, let's leave it there. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, the negotiations between Sarasota County and the Atlanta Braves. This week, Braves executives made their pitch to Sarasota County commissioners. They say the complex being built in Northport will not be paid by taxpayers, but funding the project could be difficult if the Florida legislature does not help with the cost. The move is expected to be completed by 2019. We asked you what you think about the deal. Sheila Loggins writes, I say a resounding yes. Ida Rain Muncie writes, Thrilled beyond thrilled. Jennifer Bates writes, I love it. Robin Mallory, not one penny of my tax dollars. They want to play a place that they can pay for. If they make millions on private business, they can pay for their office just like all business owners do. And Michael Della Camara writes, have the Rays spring training stadium just a few miles down the road. How about we fill that one before we spend $80 million on another concrete museum? Let us know what you think about President Trump's first week in office. Join the conversation by going on our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku, as long as Christian's Facebook page. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Kevin Griffith is the vice chair of the Sarasota County Democratic Party. Christian Ziegler is a Republican state committee man for Sarasota County. And Mitch Perry is a reporter for FloridaPolitics.com. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather. Plus, sanctuary no more. Miami-Dade is responding to an executive order from President Trump. Find out what it means for undocumented immigrants in our prime time headlines.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but first let's get a check on some chilly weekend weather with meteorologist Josh Stone.
Okay, thanks so much, Alan. 59 degrees is our current temperature outside, so it's a bit on the chilly side, and temperatures will be on the decrease as we go through the next several hours. Dew point at 40, so it's dry out there, and the winds sustained out of the north-northwest at around 9 miles per hour, but other areas, well, feeling a little stiffer wind. 12 miles per hour sustained winds in Anna Maria Island, while as we slip southward, these northwesterly winds are cranking at 15 miles per hour down here in Boca Grande. So the winds transporting the cooler air, but not much rain to talk about. Mid-level clouds streaming across the state of Florida, and that's going to be the case tonight, so we're calling for mostly cloudy skies. We did have some isolated showers that rolled in off the Gulf of Mexico earlier today, late this afternoon, causing very light showers, very isolated, but really nothing to show you here on the radar. It's all quiet. This picture changes, though, as we get into late tomorrow night and into our Sunday. I'm not talking about severe weather, but it looks like we will have widespread showers around the area. So breaking it down for you, expect a cool and raw weekend. It's just going to be kind of just chilly out there for the next few days. Rain comes in late tomorrow night, lingers through Sunday, so not much of a Sunday for the Suncoast, and then we finally warm up by mid to late next week. Snow showers taking place in the northeast, some lake effect snow happening over here, but as far as other areas, everything looks pretty quiet other than down here in central Texas, and that's the beginning of the system that's going to track across the Gulf of Mexico and bring us the widespread showers late tomorrow night and into Sunday. So tomorrow we'll have peaks of sunshine, but then the clouds roll in the afternoon, going for mostly cloudy skies in the evening hours, and then that system comes our way to bring us the showers around the area as we go through our late Saturday night and into Sunday morning. And by the time it's done, maybe a quarter of an inch to possibly 3/4 of an inch of rainfall by the time the system gets out of here on Monday. You're taking the boat out for tomorrow. Expect northerly winds of 15 knots, seas just offshore anywhere from 2 to 4 feet with a moderate chop in the bays, and 62 at the beach. Tonight's overnight low, it's going to be chilly, 49 degrees, and then tomorrow we warm up to 63. Our average for a high this time of the year, 71, so we will be below the average. And then as we go through the next few days, like I said, on Saturday night, Sunday, the rain comes in, and then finally we rebound into more comfortable and seasonable-like conditions by mid to late next week. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Monday on ABC7 News at 7.
It's great that we have students that want to go to higher education, but the truth is it doesn't help you if you can't afford it. And so we're going to keep doing everything we can to make higher education more affordable.
More than half of Florida students graduate in debt. Now Governor Scott is pushing to cut costs from textbooks, taxes, to expanding Bright Futures. I'm Alan Cohn. Find out what it means for your student.
Monday on ABC7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
I am an originalist.
Start the year off with a great deal during the Start Something New event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Ram trucks are built tough and have plenty of power to handle any job with all the comfort you'd expect in a luxury vehicle. And right now, all 2016 quad cabs are over 20% off, with new Ram trucks starting at just $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. It was a busy first week for President Trump, and it culminated today, the president hosting Britain's prime minister in the Oval Office while also having a friendly conversation with Mexico's president. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the story.
For the first time since taking office, President Donald Trump hosted a foreign leader at the White House, meeting with British Prime Minister Theresa May.
Today's talks, I think, are a significant moment for President Trump and I to build our relationship.
President Trump also working on his relationship with another ally, saying he talked on the phone with Mexico's president for an hour, a day after President Enrique Peña Nieto canceled a trip to Washington amidst President Trump's continued commitment to his campaign promise to build a border wall.
I will say that we had a very good call, and we are going to be working on a fair relationship and a new relationship.
Relationships were an ongoing theme of Mr. Trump's first news conference as president, as he discussed plans to talk for the first time with Russia's President Vladimir Putin by phone Saturday.
As far as, again, Putin and Russia, I don't say good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know the gentleman. I hope we have a fantastic relationship.
Also making no definitive statement on whether or not the U.S. will reinstate torture as an interrogation tactic, saying he'll let Defense Secretary James Mattis make the final decision.
I happen to feel that it does work. I've been open about that for a long period of time, but I am going with our leaders.
Another headline of the day, Prime Minister May said during their meeting, President Trump affirmed his commitment to NATO, saying he is 100% behind the alliance. This after Trump's prior comments calling NATO obsolete. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Miami-Dade Mayor Carlos Jimenez is agreeing with President Trump and will not his cutting off federal funds to sanctuary cities. Jimenez is ordering all county jails to adhere to requests to detain undocumented immigrants.
We will comply with the federal government's request to keep a prisoner in our custody that may be an illegal immigrant for the federal government until they can pick them up.
Other cities are pushing back on Trump's executive order. The mayor of Seattle calls the order, quote, a pathway for a constitutional crisis. Governor Rick Scott is preparing to make his annual budget recommendations. Scott plans to release details of his spending plan on Tuesday during the annual legislative planning session. Lawmakers will consider the governor's plan when the session begins in March. Scott already wants to slash taxes by $618 million. House Speaker Richard Corcoran says there would have to be cuts in spending to offset it. Sarasota County could soon end its battle with Airbnb on the best way to collect tourism taxes. The county wants to collect the local tourist development tax on overnight accommodations listed on the app. A voluntary collection agreement would outline the ways the company would collect, record, and pay those taxes. Any agreement would need to be approved by the county commission before it could take effect. And finally, tonight, Venice is considering a new way to go green. The city council is proposing a ban on plastic bags. The idea failed to get support when it was brought up last year, but that might be changing. The city is drafting a request to the state for permission to put a ban in place.
There are many good reasons to consider their use. There are many good reasons to consider not using them and using a more environmentally friendly material for that use. But it's probably a subject that's worthy of some more discussion and debate.
A representative for our local grocery store tells the city council banning plastic bags could increase costs at checkout. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.